The next type of word problem you need to know how to do is what I'll call our distance and motion problems. In Algebra 1, you probably looked at rate times time equals distance tables, but now that we're looking about or learning about rational expressions, we're actually going to manipulate that equation a little bit and get an equation that's solved for time. So you'll notice in the first line, with some manipulation of rate times time equals distance, we get distance divided by rate equals time. So just like the type 1 equations, if you can come up with a rational equation to do this without a table, that's fine. You got to define your variable when you do that. But if you want to use the table, we'll have that table there to help us. And so it'll be distance divided by rate equals time. We'll be looking to fill in up to these 6 boxes. We might not fill in all of them. And then the time column will be filled in when we do that division. Now, depending on the problem, we're going to be looking at some that deal with things like wind and current and some that don't. So I'll be using R for rate or speed. And when I refer to R, that is basically ignoring any factors. So that would be ignoring things like the wind speed or the current speed. And so in word problems that don't talk about those things, we'll just use R. You can use X, that's fine too. In word problems that do talk about those things, if you see keywords like upstream and headwind, what's happening is you are getting hurt by that. Like it's affecting your speed in a negative way. So if you're thinking about running into the wind or the wind's pushing against you, it's going to make your speed slower. So I like to use the word against and slower for that. And then downstream or tailwind, if you have a wind behind you, it's going to push you faster, or current coming from behind you, it's going to be with you and it's going to make your speed faster. So you'll see how that works in the second example for today. The first example doesn't deal with that, so we'll just use R for rate. Again, you can use X, that's fine. So one man is driving 80 miles in the same length of time that a second man is driving 120. So that's clearly the distance. I'm going to call that man 1, man 2. Man 1 is going 80, man 2 is going 120. Now we don't need to add their two distances together, so we're not going to actually use a total here. We're saying that they're driving those distances in the same amount of time, so we'll talk about that once we get to the time column. If the speed of the second driver exceeds that of the first driver by 20 miles an hour, find the speed of each. So similar to the one above, when you're filling in that table, one of the columns is going to have an unknown in it, but not both. So either the distance is going to be unknown and the rate will be known, or vice versa. So in this case, rate is what we're searching for, or speed. So that's where my unknown is going to be. So we need to make one of them X. And so it really doesn't matter because I'm trying to find the speed of both. So I'm going to just make man 1 X or R as I set up above. And then the second man is going 20 miles an hour faster. So we're going to make him X plus 20. And again, no need to try and add the rates together. That wouldn't make sense. Now it's distance divided by rate is equal to time. So 80 divided by X will be the first one. And then 120 divided by X plus 20 would be the second one. And notice you're not given a total time. Again, that's because they're traveling the same distance they're traveling in different distances, but they're traveling for the exact same amount of time. So instead of adding those two things together, we're going to actually set them equal to each other. So it'll look like this. 80 over X is equal to 120 over X plus 20. Now that is clearly a rational equation, basically what we had just been learning last chapter. So we're going to solve this by multiplying both sides by the least common denominator. And the least common denominator here is X times X plus 20. That's also the same thing as cross multiplying if you want to think of it that way in this example, so that's fine. So the one on the left, the 80 is going to stay, the X's are going to cancel, and we're going to keep the X plus 20. And on the right-hand side, we've got 120. The X plus 20s are going to cancel. We're going to keep the X. So with a little distribution, we're going to get 80X plus 1600 is equal to 120X. We'll get all of our X's on one side by subtracting 80X. And then when we divide, we will get X is equal to 40. So now we'll go and answer the question. X is the rate of man 1. So we can say man 1 is traveling at 40 miles per hour. And then man 2 is 20 more than that, so he must be traveling at 60 miles per hour in order to cover the further distance in the same amount of time. So in this example, unlike the first one, you're going to see that we're talking about still water, but we're also going to be looking for the rate of the current. So we're going to have to solve for what is the speed of the water. The water is not standing still. So a college crew team can maintain a speed equivalent to 15 kilometers per hour in still water. It takes them 50 minutes to go 6 kilometers upstream. So let me write that down, upstream. And then back again would be downstream. Remember, upstream is going to be slower. Downstream is going to be faster. I know R, or the speed, if you want to use X, which is fine, is 15. I'm searching for current. So I'm going to use C for current. So the distance that they're traveling is 6 kilometers up and then 6 kilometers back. It doesn't say anything other than that. And don't forget, if the rate upstream is hurting your speed, it's going to be rate minus the current. It's slowing you down. And downstream is going to be behind you and pushing you faster, so it's speeding you up. So the rate of the still water is 15. So and then the next one is going to be 15 plus C, because the current again is helping you. No total again, we don't need to worry about that because we're not going to add our rates together. We'll go ahead and then just divide. So the first one's going to be 6 divided by 15 minus C over 6 divided by 15 plus C. Now notice in this one, it doesn't talk about how it takes the same amount of time to do that. It says it takes them 50 minutes to row up and back. So you actually are given the total amount of time. That's what we're going to need to plug in here. But you're going to notice I'm not writing 50. I really have to think about these problems and always watch the units. The speed is in miles per hour, but this talks about 50 minutes. So it doesn't matter if your table's in minutes or if your table's in hours, it just needs to be consistent. So since I already filled in the speed as 15 miles, or in this case, kilometers, I should say, per hour, then I want to change that time, the 50 minutes, to be in terms of hours. So 50 minutes out of 60 minutes is how long of an hour I would be, also known as 5/6 if I want to reduce it. And now we will add down to equal our total because the time going upstream and the time going downstream is equal to that 50 minutes or that 5/6 of an hour. So it's 6 over 15 minus C plus 6 over 15 plus C has to equal that 5/6 that we just came up with. From there, we're going to find the LCD, which is each denominator. So we're going to multiply, make sure you show that step, by 6, 15 minus C, 15 plus C. So the first fraction, the numerator is going to stay 6, and then I still have a 6 and a 15 plus C because the 15 minus C's will cancel. The next numerator is 6, and that's going to stay as well, and then I'm going to have a 6 and a 15 minus C because the 15 plus C's are going to cancel. And then on the right-hand side, the 5 is going to stay. The 6's will cancel, but I will have the 15 minus C and the 15 plus C. As I distribute, I'm just going to look at this as 36. So 36 times 15 is 540. 36 times C. Another 36 times 15 would be another 540. And then it's going to be minus 36C. And then on this side, I'm going to just think of this already distributed out. That's 225 minus C squared. So I'm just going to multiply 5 by each of those to get 1125 minus 5C squared. So I'm going to see and notice here that the C's cancel out. And I can combine like terms. So I'm going to get 1080 equals 1125 minus 5C squared. So if I subtract the 1125, I'm going to get negative 45 equals negative 5C. And therefore, dividing by negative 5, we're going to get C squared equals 9. And when I square root both sides, we will get plus or minus 3. You technically are supposed to be using absolute value for these, but knowing that in word problems and solving for speed of something and current, we can't be negative, we'll just go ahead and just go right to that positive answer. And then just make sure you're answering the question. The question does say what's the rate of the current. That is actually what you're solving for. And so once we get that, we can just write our answer and make sure we put units on it. The current is 3 kilometers per hour. Any questions you have with distance problems, feel free to just keep note of them and bring them to next class.